Welcome to MRWA Information Podcast on lead inventory violation. Most of you have got or I'm not going to say most of you, some of you got a letter from EPA saying that you're in violation of public notice. We're kind of going to go over that here real quick, shortly. We've got it busted up. We're going to kind of go through it. Why did you get the letter and what's it mean? Yes, it is a violation. If you don't do the public notification, you'll get another violation. So let's not get two. So we're going to kind of go over the letter a little bit. I'm going to talk about what it is and what you need to be doing now to correct that measure. So
you mean that people got letters and I apologize. We'll break for that.
Yeah.
So people got letters about the lead service line inventory. You mean the thing that we did 2 years ago?
Yep. Back in 24, when the October deadline was, we all submitted or was supposed to submit our inventory to DNR. So we did. But after that inventory, we were supposed to send out notices to our lead, our galvanized requirement replacement, and our unknowns. So to the customers that the health hazard letter and a page saying, hey, we don't know what you have. It could be lead. And in DNR's eyes and EPA's eyes, unknown is lead.
Okay.
So
we did that right after we submitted in October of 24, right? So we're done.
Nope.
What do you mean no?
Living document. This is a living document. You're going to have to do it every year until that inventory is completed. And you mean completed. I meant say you've got 1,000 customers and all 1,000 of them are on that inventory and they're known. They could be lead, they could be galvanized requiring replacement, but they've got to be known. So all of your unknowns that you may have one, you may have 500. They've got to be known.
So the first step is we have to make sure we know what everything is on both sides of the meter all the way through and turn that in.
Yep.
Does this continue on even after the unknowns, that we still have to replace any of the lead and the galvanized requiring replacement after this?
If the galvanized, now this is what's kind of changed at DNR or at EPA, not DNR. This is still an EPA rule and regulation. So it's a federal regulation. DNR is just doing what they're told, more or less. So our galvanized requiring replacement. If you got lead in your system, or before when we were teaching this back in 24 and 23, we said upstream, downstream. If you had lead, any galvanized, that would have to be replaced. Not true. And everybody that I've talked to since then going, well, that's not what we were told. No, it's not. Wasn't what we were told either.
Gotcha.
So, and what's happened is, I think down the road, EPA has said, oh my gosh, we got tons of galvanized in here. Everybody's going to have to replace galvanized. It's going to cost a lot of money. And it will. But if you don't have the lead in your system, galvanized is just galvanized.
Okay.
So, but now what's changed in this new rule, this ruling, the galvanized, your customers may have a galvanized line. But if there's no lead in that service line anywhere on your side or on theirs anywhere, that galvanized is just galvanized. And you don't have, and it's not a galvanized requiring replacement.
Okay.
So on that one service line, if there's lead in there anywhere and a galvanized, that's galvanized requiring replacement. Okay.
Not the same definition we had 2 years ago.
Not the same definition where it was upstream, downstream, whatever. If your neighbor had lead and you had galvanized, that was galvanized requiring. Not so.
Okay.
So it has to be on that same service line.
So then, just so that I'm clear, we get our unknowns figured out.
Hmm.
We know what they are now.
Hmm.
We have our lead figured out,
Hmm.
and we know where the lead is now.
Hmm.
Then we're all done, right? The inventory's finished.
No, no. You got lead line replacements now. So, and this is where it kind of gets tricky. There's money and still money out there for that. Some systems are doing it a little different too. Some systems will come in if they know there's lead there or galvanized, it's required replacement. That system will go in and replace everything through the point of entry. Replace it all, and the material cost they'll add to the water bill. Each month you'll pay a little bit extra to pay for that cost. So that's one way they can do that.
To be able to cover the cost of the customer side of
Customer
that
side of that.
replacement.
Yes.
Okay.
So they'll go in and replace everything from the meter or from the main through the meter to the point of entry. Just replacing it all. They know it's going to have to be done. They've went in, going in to do it. Excuse me. But then, like I said, they'll add a cost to each month water bill for that. And there's federal money out there for um, lead line replacement. First come, first served time deal. It's um, and a lot of people have said, how do we give private individuals tax dollars? That's still up in arms through Missouri. Missouri's got a little statute that says we can't do that, but it's being done. I'm gonna put it that way.
But that's not too far off from what some municipalities, excuse me, have had to do with roads
Right.
for new subdivision areas where they assess a special tax for that area to
Mm-hmm.
cover that cost when the city put the cost in up front.
Cost in up front. So they're getting creative about doing it. So there's ways to do it. We just got to know on this letter. We'll have it broke down, and we're going to go through it just a second. That it's got to be completed. If your inventory is done, you know everything, and you're 100% done, you send that to Austin and Ryan and Jeff at DNR in Jeff City. And then you don't have to do the public notifications anymore. You'll be done. So, but what you got from EPA is a letter, and your first um, cover sheet will say this is violation of public notification, and it is a violation. So we'll kind of go over it here just a little bit. We've broken it down that why this was triggered. We talked about just a little bit ago. This all started back when we sent the inventory in 2024 in October. Now, why I'm at October, and I'm going to tell you this October of 2026, you're going to get, if you're not done 100% complete with your inventory, you'll get another one of these. And you'll have to do public notification in October through November. Okay. So these are usually, your violation will come. If you don't do it, it'll come in January. So, but anyway, this is where it's stemming from the inventory sheet that we got done. The Well, where am I at here? Here I am. I'll kind of hit the highlights on this letter. If you've got any questions, you can call me anytime. But what this is, the first sheet describes your violation, what it is, and how to correct it. So the second sheet, um, right here, um, yeah, this one here, I don't know if you can see it very well, but you'll see right up, I can't point, but right up here,
That's
there'll, there'll be a date in a year. And your violation will either be in 2024 or 2025. So there's 2 years, and you could have double violations if you didn't do it already. 25s, um, 25s is not sent out yet. So everything that we've got here is 24. But I'm just saying, if you didn't do this in 25, you're going to get another one shortly. So there's three. Yep, we'll go here. Who's going to be affected on this? Like I was explaining to Mike just a minute ago, on your inventory, I had a system just last week call me and said, I got this letter, but I think I'm done. Well, when we got to looking, they had one unknown on their spreadsheet out of, gosh, 1,800. There's one that they missed. They had one unknown. So what they had to do, they had to get a copy of the health hazard letter that you guys had probably sent out before, a copy of the violation, this here, and the form that we have to fill out to send to DNR in Jeff City saying that we did this. But you have to notify that customer, or however many customers you have, um, and that's the public notice. So the health hazard, there's three things. If you use the DNR health hazard letter, it covers all three. And I say all three is lead, galvanized requiring replacement, and the unknowns. That letter covers all three. If you do your own, it needs to cover each individual one that you're going to hand out to, and it has to be okayed with DNR. So you send that if you make your own, and you send that, you got to send a copy to Austin and Ryan or Jeff and say, "Can I use this?" And they'll say yes or no. Yeah, there's there's wording in there that EPA's put in there that needs to be in this letter. So that's why the majority of everybody is using the DNR notification. So those three things, lead, galvanized, and the unknowns, is why you got a letter. So you can go back and look at your inventory spreadsheet, and on the first yellow column, it'll say lead, or it'll say galvanized requiring replacement. And if you have unknowns, it'll still say lead. It's unknown. Like I said, in their eyes, it's lead until you prove it different.
Basically guilty until proven innocent.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So on this here public notification, those three things. That's why you got one on, because that's what was listed on your spreadsheet. So the other thing is, and we're gonna skip over to there. Oh, okay. Let me touch on this. How do we notify that customer? You can hand deliver it. If you got one or two, hand deliver it to that customer. Don't mail it. Don't hand deliver it. We can public notification. The public notification could be on your system website. It can be posted at City Hall, library, whatever. You're posting the violation that we got a violation. This is what it is. It will be, I believe, this June. I believe the majority of them will be on the CCR reports that's coming out in June. The CCR reports that you receive from DNR, it'll be listed on there. So you'll have to, when you post that CCR, you'll have to post the violation notice too with it. So if you got a customer that reads your CCR report, if they see that violation, they'll say, well, what is this? You give them a copy of the violation, say this is what it was, and it's been corrected. So newspapers, we don't we don't really do that anymore because we got the web,
Mm-hmm.
and about every system has a website. Just post it on your website, a link to it. The CCRs, when they come out, you can post that link there. So instead of spending all the money for postage and newspaper, do it this way. So, but if you just got a handful,
Mm-hmm.
deliver 'em. Just take the paperwork that you need and deliver it. If you got this violation and you're sitting there looking at it going, oh, what do I do? Give me a call. Last 2 weeks, I've been running around all over the state working on the violations, and we need to have them done pretty quick. So, the last page that is very important, this most important page, um, this is the notification form. I don't know. Do I have that on here, or did we have that? Where was
And this is a certification to be able to send to DNR to verify that they
you
have
got it
done
done?
all their communications have been sent out.
Yep.
I do not have a copy of that
Okay.
on here.
So if you got the letter, you know what it is. This form right here also has an address down here at the bottom that you can send it to. I mail it to. I'm going to tell you, email it to Ryan, Austin, or Jeff.
And
Ryan's email address is on here, I believe. Yes, it is. And the address is too. Don't mail it.
biggest thing in that comes down to you get a definitive timestamp and you can backtrace to when and who it came from, and you
Yep.
can verify that it was sent
Yep.
and not have to worry about
Yep.
any trouble at the post
Well,
office.
you email it, and you're going to get within a few minutes. And if you don't, you might, the phone number's on here too. You might want to call him and say, hey, I
Mhm.
just sent this, but this is the certification form. This tells DNR, and you're going to send more than this. What you're going to email the health hazard letter that you mailed to them, and then the address of where it went. So you'll have like 3 different pages. You're going to email to Ryan, fill this out, and I'll kind of go over this one. Posting it's several little boxes to check off. You can do one, you can do 3 or 4, you can do all of them if you want, but you don't have to. You post it at City Hall. You need to write down the date that you posted it and about how long it's going to be there. Okay. The other is newspapers, and I'm telling you, with everything else we got, if you put it in a newspaper, same thing. Put down what newspaper it was, the date it was in, how long it's going to run. I'm going to say that's your last resort, because a lot of the hometown newspapers are gone anyway.
Mhm.
You'd have to go into a countywide newspaper or a bigger newspaper and problem. So also have copies available at City Hall, and you're going to have the, that violation notice, the health hazard notice on that. So you can hand deliver them. When you hand deliver them, you need to put down a list of who they went to and who it was, if it was lead or if it was galvanized requiring replacement or unknown. Okay. The best way to do it is check the box down here, your consumer confidence reports, your CCR. It's going to be listed on that. It's going to be on there. Yeah, I'm telling everybody to make copies of this, have it at your office, have it at City Hall, District Water Office, wherever. Have copies of them. And it's also going to be on the CCR. So in June, you're going to put a link on your water bills to the CCR. So they can go look at the CCR for one thing, then look at the violation. So that must be signed. This needs to be signed right down here on the bottom, dated, and the title of the person that's doing it, the operator, the clerk, whoever. So signed, dated, and a title. Email this along with what you sent to the customers to Ryan. Ryan's email address is right here. Also send it to Jeff or Austin. Okay. That has to be done. If you do not send this, now you could do everything else. You can post it, you can put it in a newspaper, you can have it on your CCRs. But if you don't send this to DNR, you didn't do it.
Right. It's like anything else. If you don't write it down, it never happens.
Just like when your CCRs come out, you're gonna this same sheet, you're gonna have it too. And that's gonna be how did I notify the customers? I had it on the website. So this same sheet, it looks just about like this for your CCRs. Don't forget. And that's what gets a lot of them in trouble. They don't send this. They do all of the steps,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't send this.
Just
And this is the one that gets you in trouble.
didn't follow up with a certification page.
The certification page. This is very, very important. So if we don't email this, now you can mail it, but there's already been time or it just didn't get to Jeff City. The mail these days, you just can't depend on it like you used to. So email, it's instant. So get this done. Most important, right here. Okay. But Mike, as a system, you were at system for many years.
Mm-hmm.
You receive this letter. Um, First thing you think is, what do I need to do? What
Sure.
you know?
Where did I drop the ball?
Where did I drop
or
the
what
ball?
did I miss?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first things that I'd look
And,
at.
and the public notification is the world's worst. That gets you in trouble faster than anything. Like I said, you can go through all the steps,
Mm-hmm.
and one little form that you don't send in wipes everything out.
Well, and it's like so many things that we do in this arena that if you have any communication with the public, it's best to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Be the one to notify them that
Yep.
you are in the wrong and this is what you're doing to remediate it,
Yep.
to fix it,
We're
and
fixing
be there before the
Now-
newspaper picks
Now,
up on
does
it.
this mean your water's got lead in it? No, no, it does not. Does not mean that. You've probably got a system that doesn't have lead in it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But when we done the inventory, biggest part of these are the unknowns.
Right.
And I had a system call me the other day, said, "Hey, I got my inventory done. It was done on time. We done 10%." I went, "Hang on. What?" I knew this system and it was a big system. It got 3,000 connections. And I'm going,
So they got 10% of their unknowns taken care of?
Yeah.
Or they got 10% of their overall system?
they got 10% of their overall system.
Oh.
What they did, and I'm not going to call them out, but what they did is 3,000 customers,
Mm-hmm.
a little over 3,000 customers, to meet the deadline back in October of 24.
Right.
They done 300.
Because it's all, yeah. I
The
remember.
10% did not come into effect until after the inventory was done, needed to be done. We need to do 10% now in 25. We need to do 10% in 26
And that
or
10%,
complete it.
and that 10% is for the unknowns, the leads, and the galvanized. That
Yep.
if it needs replacement, it has to be done, or if
Yep.
it needs to be identified, it has to be done. That's part of that grouping.
Right.
So if out of 3,000 units, if you had 100
Yeah.
that were unknown or lead or galvanized, then that means that officially you'd only have to take care of 10 every year for the next 10 years. Me personally, I'd take care of all 100 if I
all
could
of them,
and be done
all
with
of them.
it.
And that's what I'm telling people now. Oh, I don't care what's happened in 24. You met the deadline. You got that. Get everything that you can get done. Get it done. If we've got 1,500 customers and you've got 1,000 done, bust your butts for this year and get as many as you can done, because you're still going to have to do this every October. This is coming out every October. You'll have to have the ones that you don't know. send the health hazard letter to them. You'll have to know the addresses. You'll have to do this over and over again. So I'm saying if you can get it done, get it done.
Yeah, don't wait for the full 10-year period to
Don't,
finish it.
don't.
And again, another thought would maybe be if I'm a customer receiving the same letter every year, I'm
Yep.
going, why are we not
Why
fixing
are we
this?
not fixing this? And that's what's going to come down. It's going to come down. You that customer gets a third-year letter, and you're going, why? Told you what I've got, or I don't know what I got. I want you guys to come in and do it.
Sure.
A lot of hole out there on that service line. Vac trucks are all over the place anymore. Vac trailers, pot a hole and see what that service line is. Get that marked off the list.
Yep.
So it. I had one the other day that had 26 customers. 26
Total.
Altogether.
In their entire system. 26.
26.
And they were done 3 years ago, right?
Been done within a week back in October of 24. They done 12. A system paid a company to come in and do their inventory of 26 customers. They done 12. They got a violation. So I spent half a day over there. Met with the mayor and the alderman, which they wasn't very happy at the customer they paid or the company that they paid to come in and do this. But they said, how do we fix this? I sat and explained to them how we fix this. And within an hour, they had a list of all the unknowns, and it was all unknowns. No lead in the system, no galvanized requirement. It was all unknown.
Just not verified.
Didn't know. They had a list of I think it was, I don't know how many they said, but anyway, they had 12 done. They had 26 customers. But anyway, they had the list, and those three, the mayor and the two aldermen, split that list up. They said, we'll have this done this afternoon. So they were going to go out to their customers, verify it, see if they knew what it was. They said they had a few renters. I said, go to the landlord, talk to the landlord, and got a phone call from them the other day, and they had 24 of them done. I said, well, the two work on it. Next week I'll come by. We'll get everything going on your spreadsheet. And then if you complete and know your system 100%, you know what your unknowns are, your lead, and everything's all taken care of. Email that spreadsheet to Austin and Ryan, that new spreadsheet to Austin and Ryan, and they're going to mark you off the list. So if you're just doing this and a year after year after year, we have to update our stuff yearly. But in 27, that's when the next spreadsheet will go in to DNR. Okay, so that your unknowns, your galvanized requiring replacements of what you had in 24 should be worked on. Should have a lot less than what you got or had before. And in 27, you'll send that spreadsheet in. Okay.
Preferably complete.
Yes. If you can get it done, I'm just saying, get it done. So that's the next one that's going to come due. But if you're complete and you know what everything is, send it to them now. Get it done. So, I hope this helps a little. I probably muddied the water a little bit more, but don't take this lightly. This was one violation. And if you don't do the public notification violation side, you'll get another one. And we don't want that. They'll just keep adding on. And then eventually you'll see the attorney general. And we don't want that.
We like meeting people, but not that way.
Not that way. So this can be taken care of pretty quick. Yes, it's kind of frightening, and yes, there are fines with this. Some people that have already said, I'm not doing none of it. They've already seen some fines. So don't be that person. Don't be that system. We can help you take care of this pretty quick. So any questions, email me, call me, and we'll get her done for you.